Hey, this is Noah. Before you ask, those were medications for my surgery that I recently had. Two different kinds of pain medication and a muscle relaxer so strong it just puts me to sleep. I am no longer needing to use them, they sit there. Anyway, we got some big news, and I'm a little late covering it, so I hope you'll forgive me. Holy crap, my screen is so bright. SEGA of America has unionized, and the new union called Allied Employees Guild Improving SEGA, or AEGIS for short, is partnered with the Communication Workers of America and consists of a supermajority of 144 employees across SEGA's QA, localization, live service, marketing, and product development departments, making AEGIS the largest video game union in the United States, made up of workers across numerous departments. Very based. And in the other news, SEGA has announced their financial results for this last fiscal year, which ended March 31st, and has given some insight into their future plans, some of which having to do with their plans for Rovio. Overall, SEGA has seen a significant increase in their sales. It seems that this is at least brought in part because of things like Sonic Frontiers and Persona 5 Royal. Interesting is that Sonic Frontiers shipped over 3.2 million units as of the end of March 2023, while Persona 5 Royal passed 1.7 million. And while I would want to make the egregious statement that Sonic Frontiers is better than Persona 5 Royal, one has to remember that Persona 5 Royal is a port job and is in itself a enhanced re-release of Persona 5, a game that has been out since the PlayStation 3. And on top of that, Persona is not as widely popular of a franchise as Sonic the Hedgehog. Honestly, the fact that Persona 5 Royal has sold as many that it did, I would argue, is probably more surprising that it's as close to Sonic Frontiers as it is, given that it is over half of the amount of units sold as Sonic Frontiers. We get into some of SEGA's plans for the next year. In the past fiscal year, SEGA shipped out just over 10 million units of consumer games, and they expect to ship 14.12 million units in the current fiscal year. As a general statement, they're looking to ship more games. For the current fiscal year ending in March 2023, SEGA plans the global simultaneous launch and multi-platform support for 12 new non-mobile games, which are expected to sell 12 million units. These include Sonic Origins Plus, Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, Endless Dungeon, and more. Most are unannounced. Looking at you, Persona 3 Remake, I'm just saying. Among these, the company expects 5 million units to be remasters and remakes like the aforementioned Sonic Origins Plus and Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection. With a figure like that, where it is nearly half of what they're expecting to sell out of their games, I'd have to, cope by thinking that it is going to be Persona 3 Remake that's pushing that. Because, honestly, bias in place. I can't imagine Sonic Origins Plus and Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection selling significant numbers. Sonic Origins Plus is literally just DLC and a physical release of the game. And Etrian Odyssey is a game that I imagine is probably not very well known. I mean, I didn't even know what it was until looking it up for the sake of seeing it revealed and being like, what was that? Here's where I'm interested. According to the company, the conversion of its current IPs into global IPs is progressing, and the growth strategy is moving to the next stage. The core factors in that strategy going forward are treating its IP pool as a treasure island and reviving and scaling globally recognized IPs by reforming them to fit modern demand. This is going back to how SEGA is proclaiming that they are going to be going through their old IPs and trying to evaluate which ones will work and invest in them in the same way that they have allowed other people to license those games, those IPs, or games that they want to develop. Now, they talked a little bit about what they're going to do with Rovio, and we can glean a lot from this. The following synergies between the two companies are expected. Utilization of Rovio's distinctive know-how and live service mobile game operation to bring SEGA's current and new titles to the global mobile I always hate trying to say that. Global mobile gaming market. I struggled with it in the other video, I struggle with it now. Where there was large potential and many users can be accessed. That one's fairly self-explanatory. Using their resources to try to make new SEGA IP mobile games. Rapid expansion of both companies' fan base by sharing know-how regarding multimedia expansion of global characters. Basically, just using their resources trying to reach more people. And support cross-platform expansion of Rovio's IP using SEGA's capabilities. My friends, I think this statement, if nothing else, would suggest that SEGA would hope to put Rovio's characters and IPs onto multiple platforms, and taking a slight jump would imply that they are looking to use Rovio's IPs for potentially like console and PC games, because cross-platform from mobile phone games, like there's two options, it's console or PC. I know that the question before was simply, is Rovio going to then be put into a position where they have to bring back the original version of Angry Birds at Sega's behest? But in my video I described thinking that it would be interesting as if Sega tried to bring Angry Birds to console. Perhaps imagine making a collection of a number of the different versions of Angry Birds that have existed over the years into one game on PC, console, whatever. And I think, if nothing else, this could speak to the possibility that that is going to happen. Or maybe even a more wild idea is Sega and Rovio investing in the prospect of making console games with the Angry Birds IP. Now, I'm aware to a certain extent that Rovio does have other IPs, but I don't know anything about them. But, that being said, I think it would be interesting as if, with the expansion of their mobile game possibilities, if Sega, when making a Sonic Adventure 3, made a Chow Garden mobile game that links to Sonic Adventure 3. I think that is such a easy or significant way to do that, because if Rovio knows how to operate that thing, there is a reasonable possibility that a game that could exist potentially standalone as a Chow Garden thing would actually unironically do well and be good. They might even get more people playing that and spending money on the microtransactions that would inevitably be in it than using it with the main console game. I'd play that. Anyway, what do you guys think of this news? Sega of America unionizing. Sega announcing what they're looking to do. They're looking to pick up their sales and put Rovio to work. I'm going to know what you guys think about this in the comments below. This is Noah. That's Sega. See ya.